Hello everyone, this is part 14 of What If Naruto Had the Ultimate Dojutsu, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Alright Anko-chan, 1 hour ago. Naruto yelled. Anko quickly jumped into the field and instantly felt excited. She had never fought anyone blindfolded before, so this was an entirely new experience for her. Anko stood unmoving so she could feel for her targets. She heard the rapid movement of something and quickly turned her gaze to the impending noise and shot forward. I got a clone already. Anko yelled and sent out a kick, but she didn't hit anything and she cursed. So this wasn't going to be easy. It was like trying to freaking fight in the dark. It was then that Anko gasped when she was slammed in the stomach, making her fall back. The snake mistress rebounded with a backflip and tried to land on the grass, but her leg was grabbed and she was suddenly being spun around in a twirl. Damn it, I can't see anything, Anko thought, and all of a sudden, she was sent flying and slammed into a tree. Anko gasped from the hit and rubbed the back of her head. She suddenly grinned and licked her lips. This was starting to get good. Looks like the Gaki delivered on his promise. I wanted training and I got training, but I'm not gonna let myself get smacked around like this, Anko said to herself in thought and took out a kunai. At least she could use weapons. Anko threw the kunai at the nearest sound of the clones that she heard and hopped for at least some sort of reaction. She was graced with a clanging sound and she charged at the noise. From her training as a kunoiki, Anko could identify the sound as her kunai being blocked with another one, and that let her know where the clone was. The clone cursed itself for falling for such an obvious trick, but that was Anko. Clever and tricky. Just like a snake. The clone ducked underneath a punch that Anko let out, but due to it being so close, Anko could practically smell him. She grinned as she pivoted her foot and her luck paid off as she slammed the clone in the face. Naruto and Kurenai widened their eyes when they saw Anko getting the hang of it already. Both had to figure that practically being a resident in the Forest of Death allowed Anko to hone her sense a little better than Kurenai. The clone was sent flying back a few feet, but Anko would be damned if she lost him. Trying to judge the amount of distance she made from her contact with the clone, she tried to calculate other things. It was all making her head hurt. She had to judge the skill of Naruto's clones, which was very good. She had to calculate distance, power, speed, and other things. This just wasn't her forte, but then it hit Anko. Naruto's face gleamed when he saw that she figured it out. This exercise had two purposes. It was to teach both Anko and Kurenai to fight without relying on their favorite styles in case things didn't work out for them in battle, and it was to try and get them to begin better strategizing. If Anko didn't know better, she would swear that Naruto was a Nara, but being taught by Kyuubi might have had something to do with this. Anko, however, couldn't celebrate her accomplishment yet as she felt the wind pick up. She could only fathom that one of the clones was going through with a Fuyutin jutsu, but the direction of the wind was hard for her to discern. It was only thanks to a yell that Anko could dodge. Fuyutin, Daytopper, the blonde clone yelled, sending the wind at Anko. Anko knew that a jutsu like that was normally directional and she felt it still coming at her. She could only block and held her stance, but the wind was tough and knocked Anko to the ground. She was about to get up, but then she felt a kunai to her throat. Anko widened her eyes through the blindfold, but sighed and grinned. Alright Naruto, I give to, Anko said, and the clones withdrew their weapons. She was then helped to her feet by Naruto, who took off her blindfold. Anko opened her eyes and rubbed them to get them used to the sunlight. Naruto clapped and so did Kurenai. Nice job Anko-chan, you lasted for 50 minutes. I really thought one of my clones was gonna lose for a second, Naruto told her. Anko grinned, and after a congratulation from Kurenai, the three sat on the ground while Naruto assessed their abilities. Alright ladies, you both did great. You actually lasted longer than I thought you would. You're bot amazing, Naruto admitted. Kurenai and Anko blushed from his praise, and then Naruto got back down to it. Alright, you did great. Now then, it seems you both have some problems in most discerning distance and timing between attacks. That's why I have another exercise for you, but this one is more long-term than anything else, Naruto told them. Anko and Kurenai raised their eyebrows at him and Naruto took the two blindfolds and placed them on the ground. He then began to write on them with an ink pen and started to write some seals over the headbands. Naruto had been practicing his fuinjutsu and he was happy when Kyuubi said he was at a moderate level. Granted his was all that good by Uzumaki or Minato's level, but he was good. There was no disputing that, but he had the time to learn to be just as good as any of them. Anko and Kurenai watched as Naruto drew the seals on the blindfolds and they wondered what he had planned for them. All right done, Naruto said holding up the blindfolds. Anko and Kurenai raised their eyebrows at the blindfolds and were about to ask what they were for, but luckily Naruto was about to answer their unanswered question. Okay, I slightly enhanced these blindfolds. Now I wouldn't do this unless I knew you couldn't handle it, but I know you can. For the rest of this week, the two of you are going to wear those blindfolds wherever you go, Naruto explained. Anko and Kurenai widened their eyes and thought Naruto's training idea was ridiculous. Why you expect us to walk around the village and live out our lives wearing a blindfold for a week? Anko asked, hoping she heard wrong. That's right. Keep in mind that you will still be training here with them on. I want to get you two accustomed to living in the dark. Kyuubi-chan taught me that always relying on one's eyes can get them killed. In truth, the only reason my other senses are as good as an Inuzuka's is because Kyuubi-chan taught me using this method. I tell you it was tough, but I learned it well. This is also the best way I can think of for you two to combat a Sharingan user like either me or Itachi. I think Sasuke might one day become a jackass with it later if he unlocks the Sharingan's powers, Naruto said to them. Anko and Kurenai seemed to understand Naruto reasoning as the blonde handed him the blindfolds. Depending on your experience with the blindfolds, they will change color. I have the colors for the blindfolds selected already. All you have to do is just get adjusted to them. If you keep them on the entire week then they should change from black to dark blue. I know it's be weird, but I know my snake mistress and genjutsu mistress can do it, Naruto said making the two blush. Since when were we yours? Kurenai asked and Naruto simply smiled. I'll let you figure that out, he said replied slyly to her as Kurenai took the blindfold into her hands. She then sighed at how she was going to explain this to her team. She could already imagine at least Sakura laughing at her. Oh well, she could always put the girl in a genjutsu where Sasuke died. That would definitely make her shut up. Anko and Naruto backed away when they saw Kurenai give a small, twisted smile and wondered what she was thinking. The blonde then gave Anko the blindfold and she took it in her hands. She could see Ibiki, Hana, and Yugao laughing at her. Naruto had better pray to Kami that this works or Anko would give him the new meaning to the word, terror. When all was said and done, Anko and Kurenai stared at their blindfolds and turned the gazes to Naruto. The blonde gave a cheeky smile and nodded to them. Both sighed and decided to put on the blindfolds. When they did, the two were completely blind and it was a new experience for them. Anko couldn't even see the front of her hands while Kurenai tried to check her surrounding though that was hard to do. And just to make sure of some things, I'm going to have these two cage bunchins shadow you. Wouldn't want my two students to be in any trouble would I? Naruto asked and the two women heard a puff. Anko was startled when someone grabbed her shoulder, but she relaxed when Naruto told her it was his clone. Same things happened with Kurenai and Naruto dismissed the training session. Well I gotta go see Kyuubi-chan about something. See you two later, Naruto said vanishing in some yellow lightning laughing as he left the two blind women and their Naruto Bunshin escorts behind. I'm gonna kill him when I take this blindfold off, Anko said and Kurenai nodded. It was then that they walked off trying to remember Konoha as they had seen it so many times. The Naruto clones followed behind them so they wouldn't get lost. With Naruto having left his session with Anko and Kurenai behind, Naruto utilized the Horatian technique and appeared in front of his house. He sighed as he stepped inside his house and looked to see Kushina walking down the stairs in her night clothes making Naruto's eyebrow twitch. Good morning Naruto-kun, Kushina said with a smile and Naruto sweet-dropped. Ka-san it's the middle of the afternoon, Naruto declared and Kushina widened her eyes. The red-headed habanero then chuckled and rubbed the back of her head. Oh is it? I guess I slept longer than I thought, Kushina said and then Naruto looked around the house. He saw Kasumi and Fu in the yard doing a sparring practice. By the way son, who is this? Kushina asked, pointing at Kyubi, who was drinking some water. Naruto cursed under his breath that he hadn't told his mother about Kyubi yet. It probably slipped his mind, but then he wondered why Kushina didn't see Kyubi all those other times, but he chalked that up to her training and simply not noticing. Oh well, Naruto felt his breathing hitch while his mother sent him a small glare. Naruto's mind was working in overdrive of the situation and how to explain it to his mother, who was still waiting. Kyubi smiled at Naruto's desperation and wanted to know how Naruto would get out of this jam. Suddenly Naruto's eyes gleamed and he gave his mother a warm smile. This is Natsuki. She's someone I met on one of my missions, Naruto replied. Kyubi raised an eyebrow and Kushina gave a blank look. Naruto nearly sweated when he felt Kushina's gaze on him. Oh, is that right? Okay then. Nice to meet you, Natsuki-san, Kushina said, holding out her hand. Kyubi had to snicker at this and saw Naruto breathing a sigh of relief. Kyubi grabbed Kushina's hand and gave it a firm shake. Nice to meet you, Kushina-san, Kyubi said to her. Kushina nodded and continued to walk around the house. Naruto slumped to the floor and sighed as Kyubi walked up to him. I just felt a bit of my life slip away from that, Naruto said, making Kyubi giggle at him. Well, you can breathe now, Naruto-kun. Granted, I'm surprised you're up. I thought I left you in a coma last night, Kyubi said with a smile. Naruto blushed when he was reminded of last night. Granted, he and Kyubi didn't go all day like him and Kasumi, but Kyubi more than made up for it with vigor. Kyubi really was a demoness. Naruto had never been so tired in his life, and he sort of still was. Though I outlasted you, which is something I'm actually proud of. Man, if not for those privacy seals that I placed around the room, you might have made all of Konoha wake up from those screams, Naruto said, and it was Kyubi's turn to blush. While they talked, Kasumi and Fu came into the room and the Do girl draped her arms around Naruto's form. So Naruto-sama, where were you? I was so lonely. You should have taken me with you, Kasumi said huskily in Naruto's ear. The blonde stuttered, making Kyubi and Fu chuckle at him. Kasumi-chan, don't you have some taijutsu stances to learn? Naruto asked. Kasumi smirked and leaned herself more on Naruto's body, pushing her B against his form. I already learned all the Chunin stances and most of the Jonin stances. Now is there any other excuse you would like to try, Naruto-sama? Kasumi asked. Naruto chuckled at her, and it seemed that as soon as she said that, Haku appeared from the front door with a large stack of papers. Naruto-kun, Tsunade-sama said that there are some more doents for you to sign. She said that you had to do these and bring some of them back to her in 2 days, Haku said, and Naruto paled. Oh come on, Databayo, Naruto yelled, making Kyubi, Fu, Haku, Kasumi and Kushina laugh at him. Naruto sighed and headed to the table. He pulled out an ink pen and resigned to his fate. Alright, put him down and just hand me the papers, Naruto said with anime tears going down his face. Everyone chuckled, but then Haku placed them on the table and sat next to Naruto. I'll help you, Naruto-kun. I am a member of your clan. I'm also your vassal, Haku told him. Naruto's eyes gleamed and he grabbed Haku's soft hands, making the girl blush. Thank you, Haku-chan, Naruto said, and the ice user gave him a warm smile. It was then that Kyubi and Kushina took some of the work also. I've never signed doents before, but there's always a first, Kyubi answered. I can't let my Sochi suffer, so I'll help out also, Kushina said to him. We'll make snacks for everyone. You can't do paperwork if you're hungry, Fu said and pulled Kasumi into the kitchen. Recently Kasumi had been eager to learn how to cook and she had fumbled a few times, but she managed. She claimed that something inside her wanted to learn how to cook, and Kyubi told her it was probably the female inside her wanting to show Naruto something else good about her. Meanwhile, Naruto and the others were signing paperwork like mad and wrote the blonde's signature on everything. Sometimes they stopped to ask for Naruto's opinion on a specific subject, but other than that they could get everything else done. With Kurenai sighed as she felt the stares and heard people whispering. She had never been so nervous in her life. She sure as hell didn't know where she was going. She had a meeting with her team soon and she'd had preferred not to get lost already. She then stopped walking and looked at the ground. Where am I going? This training is tough, Kurenai said, but then she smelled something good. She smelled barbecue. She smelled grilling meat. She was near the barbecue joint that most of the teams went to, especially Asuma's team. Kurenai suddenly grinned and her nose followed the smell of the meat for a bit until she was directly in front of the restaurant. She still had her blindfold on, so it was easier for her to concentrate on her nose. Okay, I'm in front of the barbecue restaurant that Asuma said he team likes to be at. So then the training grounds are an hour to the east, Kurenai said and changed her direction, then walked off. Not far behind her was Naruto's Bunshin, who smiled. She actually got it. Man, Kurenai-chan really learns things fast, the clone thought before running after her. Just like Kurenai thought, she was beginning to recognize the smell of trees and the smell of the fresh water that was in a lake. She was definitely in a training ground. She knew that much. Kurenai could feel the sort of rocky terrain as it differed from the plain and more walkable streets of Konoha. Okay, let's see. The first training ground to show up is usually guarded by a gate. Well, all of them have gates, but that's beside the point. Kurenai continued to ponder her conundrum, but then she was brought out of her stupor by a voice. Kurenai-sensei, you're early. By the deep voice, not to mention the slightly creepy way it sounded. It could only be one person that Kurenai knew, and it made her smile. Shino, you're here too. That's good, Kurenai said with a smile. Shino walked up to her with his hands in his pocket and he then raised an eyebrow at her blindfold. Why are you blindfolded? Shino asked, and Kurenai's reply was a sigh while she brushed a hand through her hair. Training, Kurenai said with a shrug of her shoulders. Shino continued to look at his sensei for a little longer and watched her walk towards the center of the field. Well, Shino, why don't you have a small spar with me while we wait for Hinata and Sakura? It seems I've learned of my weak points and I need to change those. You should too. You might learn some things, Kurenai said, adjusting her blindfold slightly. She didn't take it off, just moved it to give some of her hair a bit of relief. Well, sensei, if you think it will help, but are you going to fight with that blindfold on? Shino asked. Kurenai sighed again with a nod. Yes, I believe I will. Trust me, this isn't underestimation, rather it's training for me, Kurenai said as she took a low Jonin stance. Shino's bugs swarmed out of him and the sounds of all the insects buzzing hit Kurenai's ears. I've never felt so weirded out in my life. That buzzing is creepy, Kurenai thought, and soon the student and the teacher began to spar for a short while. With Anko. Anko was currently walking cautiously to the Hokage mansion. She heard from an Anbu that the Hokage wanted to see her. Anko decided to go, and she could hear the snickers of the Anbu behind her mask, making Anko narrow her eyes. Yep, totally gonna kill the Gaki when this is over, Anko thought, and continued to walk in the direction of the Hokage mansion. She heard people whispering about her and she sighed. This wasn't in her schedule of things to do. Anko had been walking from her house to the Hokage mansion and it was relatively easy since she had done that many times before. It only pissed her off that she couldn't jump on the rooftops of the buildings to get there faster. Anko. Someone called in a soft tone. Anko's ears looked in on the person who called her and turned in the direction of the voice. Who is it? Anko asked. She was never one for discerning voices, so this was still new to her. Why not take off the blindfold and find out? The person asked, and Anko gave another sigh. Sorry, but I can't do that. Now can you stop wasting my time and tell me who it is? Anko asked, making the person snicker before they bursted out laughing, making Anko grit her teeth. I'm gonna kill Naruto for this, Anko said, and the person fell to the floor. So it was Naruto-kun. Oh, that's rich, the person laughed, and all of a sudden Anko lunged at the person and grabbed their shirt collar. Alright, enough laughing. Who are you? Anko asked, and the person finally stopped laughing. She leaned forward a little more and Anko suddenly smelled something. She smelled the scent of dogs on the person, and Anko only knew 2 female dog users. Hana. Anko yelled, and Hana patted the snake mistress's shoulder. Anko breathed a sigh of relief when she guessed right. So why is Naruto-kun making you wear a blindfold? Hana asked. Anko huffed and told Hana about her training up until that point, and by the end of it, Hana really trying to fight back the increasing urge to laugh her head off. I'm definitely bringing this up in the date tonight, Hana thought with a grin, and noticed Anko heading to the Hokage mansion. It was then that Hana snickered and patted Anko's shoulder. Anko, if you're going to the Hokage mansion, it's the other way, Hana said, stifling a laugh. Anko stopped in her tracks and turned around. Oh, is it? Thanks, Hana, Anko said, and Hana could only snicker some more. This was just too fun to not try. Hana knew she shouldn't be that mean, but this was fun as hell. Not wait, it's that way, you were right, Hana giggled and Anko narrowed her eyes behind the blindfold. No Anko, it's that way or maybe that way. I'm sure it was this way, I forget, Hana continued chuckling at Anko's expense. It was then that Anko stopped running and, using her ears, locked in on Hana's laughing and lunged herself at the Inuzuka female. Enough. Now I don't know which way it is, Anko said, and Hana stopped her laughing and nodded. Alright, sorry Anko. It's this way. I hope your meeting goes well, Hana said, walking off. Anko huffed her annoyance at one of her friends and walked in said direction. The Naruto clone grinned as it saw a natural prankster in Hana. Man, why didn't I think of that? Hana-chan, you're a genius, the clone said in thought before following Anko to the mansion. Back at the Namika's compound, nighttime. Naruto sighed as he put down his ink pen and slumped into the couch of his compound. Finally done, the blonde said, and with him was Haku, Kushina, and Kyubi. It was then that the Queen of Demons began to fear paperwork. It was a dreaded monstrosity. She really wanted to vaporize the damn thing, leaving no trace behind. I'm not making fun of anyone who has to do paperwork. My fingers are killing me, Haku said, using her ice release to relax her fingers. Kushina got up from the couch and walked into the kitchen. I'm gonna make us some dinner. Anyone want anything? She asked. Nothing for me, Car-san, I'm going out today. In fact, I've got to get ready. I'll see you all a little later, Naruto said, getting up and walking upstairs. What's Naruto-sama got to do? Kasumi wondered, as did everyone else, but Kyubi knew and she could only smile. Naruto walked into his room and took off his clothes. He laid them on the bed and quickly took out a suit he bought. He was never one for suits, but Kyubi told him that women like men in suits, so the blonde figured, what the hell. Naruto wore a black suit and white shirt with a red tie. He had on black shoes and then he checked himself in the mirror. He thought he looked alright and walked out of his room. He didn't have much time before he had to pick up Hana, so he quickly rushed downstairs. All the women in the room looked at him and blushed. Wow, Sochi, do you look sharp, Kushina complimented, and Naruto grinned. Fu gave a Hinata-style blush while Kasumi and Kyubi licked their lips. Haku seemed all too stunned by Naruto's appearance and nearly passed out. Thank you, ladies. Well, I'll be back later, Naruto told them. Everyone nodded as they watched Naruto leave. The girls stayed in the room for a bit, before Kasumi jumped to her feet and appeared in front of Kyubi. Nitsuki-sama, do you think you could train me? I've learned nearly all the forms of taijutsu in the scrolls, but I don't think I'm strong enough yet. So can you teach me some new things? Kasumi asked. Kyubi raised an eyebrow, but then smiled with a nod. Alright, we'll start tomorrow then, Kyubi replied, and Kasumi grinned with a nod. Meanwhile, Fu took up her book on Fuinjutsu and was almost done. She knew there were other books, so she wanted to get through the first one. It was all relatively simple to her thanks to Nanabe. Haku was checking over some things as Tsunade told her that her training would start tomorrow. All the girls had something to do and they knew that their night wouldn't be boring. With Naruto was jumping across the rooftops and he saw the village lights around Konoha give it a lovely glow that seemed to just make the blonde smile. It would be just him and Hana tonight. He had even planned on take Haku and Kasumi somewhere, but those were a secret for now. He hoped they would be happy with where he was going to take them, but he wasn't going to think about that tonight. No, tonight was about Hana. After 3 minutes of running, Naruto appeared in front of the Inuzuka compound and opened the slid-in door. The blonde saw Tsume sitting on the couch reading a book about genjutsu until she saw Naruto in the doorway. Why, hello Naruto-kun. You look great. Sigh, I wish I could go, but I have work to do, Tsume said with a grin. Naruto gave a grin also and sat on the couch next to Tsume and gave her a peck on the cheek and then leaned to her ear. So why aren't you doing it now? Naruto asked. Tsume looked into her book and sighed. I'm lazy, Tsume said with a shrug of her shoulders. Naruto chuckled at that and simply went for nodding in some agreement with her. It was then that Naruto heard footsteps on the stairs and turned to see Kiba wearing some casual clothes. Hey Kiba, where are you going? Naruto asked. Kiba turned to see his best friend sitting next to his mother. Kiba grinned at Naruto's question and patted him on the shoulder. Well, Tenten and I have another date, so I'm taking her to the barbecue joint, so I'm gonna go pick her up. Oh, She told me to tell you that she'll be watching you kick Akira's ass, so you'd better not lose, Kiba told him. Naruto smirked with a nod, and before long he turned to Sume. By the way, where is he anyway, Sume-chan? Naruto asked, and Sume's smile turned into a slight glare. He said he was going to stay in the woods for training. I think he's coming back today. Remember Naruto-kun, you have to fight him in a week, Sume told him. Naruto nodded and simply rubbed Sume's shoulders, making the Inuzuka head raise an eyebrow before giving a groan from the softness of Naruto's hands. Don't worry, Sume-chan. I'll be damned if I lose you and Hana-chan. You're both mine after all, Naruto said, standing to his feet. Sume blushed at his smooth talk, and all of a sudden everyone heard the sound of footsteps again. Everyone watched Hana come down the stairs, and Naruto widened his eyes. Kami-sama, I can die now, Naruto thought as Hana came down the room. She was wearing a red dress with strings that held it on her shoulders. It went down to her ankles, where she was wearing red shoes. Her hair wasn't in the usual ponytail that she had it in. No, this time she allowed all of her hair to flow down past her shoulders. She was, in one word, stunning. Hello Naruto-kun, how do I look? Hana asked, and Naruto's only response was to stare and admire the perfection in front of him. Sume laughed at his reaction, and Hana giggled. Kiba placed his hand in front of his friend's face and waved it slightly. I think you broke him, Ne-chan, Kiba replied, and then Naruto broke from his stupor. Hana-chan, you look amazing. Did you pick that dress for me? Naruto asked slyly, making Hana blush with a slight nod. The blonde smiled and grabbed Hana's arm around his own. Well then, shall I take you on our date then? Naruto asked. Hana giggled again and nodded. Naruto escorted her to the door, and the two left, leaving Kiba and Sume in the room. Well, Car-san, I'm gonna be with Ten-chan. I'll be back later, Kiba said, walking towards the door. See ya later, pup, Sume said, and suddenly the place was quiet. Looks like I can relax now, Sume said, adjusting her position, and decided to take a short nap on the couch. With Naruto and Hana having left the Inuzuka compound, Naruto brought Hana into the streets of Konoha. Both walked through the people-filled streets and could feel some of the stares they stared to give the couple. Hana blushed as she walked with Naruto, but the blonde didn't seem to mind. So Naruto-kun, how do you plan on beating Akira? He is the toughest out of our clan besides Car-san, Hana mentioned, though she wasn't sure why. This was about her and Naruto, so why was she bringing something like this? Hana was about to apologize for talking about something like that during the date, but Naruto only gave her a mysterious grin across his face. Don't worry about that, Hana-chan. I haven't been slacking either. I've been working on a way to use my sand jutsu, so watch out and I'll shock you all, but you don't have to worry. I won't lose you to anyone. Now enough of that, you come with me, Naruto said, dragging her along. Hana's face calmed and she simply walked with Naruto. She wasn't going to bring that up tonight. It was just her and Naruto, so the night shouldn't be filled with unpleasant things. Both walked for a little longer until they came up to the new place that Naruto had reserved for Hana. The Red Dragon was an exquisite place that any man would want to take his woman for a date. Granted, the food was expensive, it was so good that it completely made up for the cost. Naruto and Hana saw quite a few people in front the door, and Hana sighed. I don't think we're getting in with that crowd, Naruto-kun, Hana said to him. Naruto grinned and gently patted Hana's shoulder. Don't you remember what I told you, Hana-chan? Naruto asked her. Hana raised an eyebrow, and before she could ask, Naruto pulled her towards the front, not minding the people. They were stopped by one of the guards of the place with a notepad. Name, he said to them. Hana looked at Naruto, and the blonde grinned. He knew this would attract some attention, but right now he didn't give a damn. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. I made a reservation, Naruto told the man. Hana soon heard people start muttering to others about Naruto and his name. She giggled when she realized that the name, Namikaze, was basically a celebrity name. She also got some jealous looks from the female population, but Hana only grinned that she was the one on a date with Naruto. The man went down the list as he repeated the same words, Namikaze. Ah, here you are. Yes, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, top floor room. Right this way, sir, the man said, opening the door for the blonde. Naruto grabbed Hana's hand and guided her inside, leaving the other people behind. After walking inside, Hana stared in awe at the place. It was amazing. There were multiple tables lined up perfectly next to the windows. There were 3 upper rooms, each being more expensive and better looking than the last. Naruto guided Hana up the stairs and they stopped on the 2nd floor. This floor was covered in red wallpaper with a golden dragon symbol. Hana marveled at the interior and suddenly they were brought up to a door. Naruto opened the door and Hana walked inside. She then widened her eyes again. "En Naruto-kun, this is..." Hana stared at a private room for 2 with a great view of Konoha. "You'd be surprised what I can buy with the missions I do, Hana-chan. Granted, having some of my father's inheritance to spend isn't bad either," Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head. Hana simply they cautioned to the wind and grabbed Naruto's head and brought his lips to hers. Naruto widened his eyes as he didn't expect AK from Hana so early on, but he wasn't complaining. Hana's lips were so soft on his, but before the blonde could enjoy them anymore, Hana pulled away and blushed, leaving Naruto to long for the softness again. "Well, it's amazing, Naruto-kun. The view is wonderful here," Hana said, staring outside. Naruto chuckled at Hana's interest in the place and he then allowed her to sit at the table. Naruto followed suit and sat across from it. As they waited for their food, Naruto and Hana talked about their relationship over the years. Naruto told Hana about his clan and the tons of paperwork that came with it. Hana laughed at Naruto's expense and the blonde had given a cute pout. Hana talked about Naruto's training with Anko and Kurenai and how she totally messed with the snake mistress. Naruto chuckled and congratulated Hana on a good prank, but then told her not to do it again since he really wanted Anko and Kurenai to train. Hana had agreed to it, but not before telling the blonde that Anko said what she would do to him, and Naruto actually paled. Yep, this wasn't going to be good for him at all. It was then that their food was served. Because Naruto got a private room, the food was already a predetermined meal, but the blonde got the choice when he made the reservation. He was sure Hana would like it. Naruto got some beef steak with rice and steamed vegetables. Hana had some grilled chicken and steamed vegetables. Hana had complimented the food and said that it smelled amazing, to which Naruto agreed with her. Both dug into their food and Hana's eyes gleamed. The food was good. Amazingly good. Not to mention the view around them seemed to enhance the mood of the room. Both ate their food in silence. They did make casual conversation, but that was about it. Naruto-kun. Naruto looked up from his food to see Hana tossing some of her vegetables left and right on the plate. She seemed to be going over her words and it made the blonde slightly nervous. "What is it, Hana-chan?" Naruto asked her. Hana sighed and looked out the window, but then she turned back to Naruto and gently touched his hand. "I want insurance, Naruto-kun. Please tell me how you can win against Akira. It's not that I doubt you. I don't, but I'm scared." After To-san left, Ka-san pretty much shut herself off from the world. She did have me and Kiba, but I could tell she was sad for those reasons. I knew that indestructible strength was a show in front of us. Naruto-kun, you're the only person that Ka-san has entrusted her heart to again. I don't want something stupid like Akira's selfishness to take that away. So Naruto, if you have a technique or style that can beat Akira, then please tell me, Hana said to him. Naruto stopped eating and looked at the plate for a second. Hana watched his reactions and the blonde sighed. Hana lowered her gaze in sadness. She just ruined her date and she could belittle herself for it. She was about to apologize, but then Naruto tightly grabbed Hana's hand, making her look at him. "Alright, Hana-chan. I'll tell you the thing I'm trying to do with my sand control. It's a new technique I'm trying to do. It's called flame sand control," Naruto told her. Hana raised an eyebrow at the name and Naruto decided to explain. "It involves coating my sand in oil and then using Kaiten chakra to ignite it. It's like burning sand to its limit. I'm freely able to control the movement of the sand and the fire that surrounds it," Naruto replied. Hana was confused by Naruto's words. Light sand on fire. It sounded weird. Naruto-kun, I don't understand. Mind explaining?" Hana asked. Naruto chuckled and decided to explain his technique to her. Granted, he didn't know that many things and it wasn't fully tested, but he figured he had it down. After the explanation, Hana seemed to understand it a little better, so she seemed to calm down some. "I haven't told this to anyone yet, so keep it a secret," Naruto said to her. Hana nodded and simply formed a grin and continued to eat her food. Naruto did the same and the two easily enjoyed the date in peace. It was a little later that Naruto took Hana from the Red Dragon and was walking her home. Hana had a wonderful time. Granted, this brought up some unwanted talk, but it was alright. Naruto got to spend some time with and that was all they wanted. As they walked, Naruto and Hana suddenly heard a yell that made him turn. "Hey brat!" Naruto turned his head along with Hana to see who it was. Both growled as Akira appeared just a few feet from them. Naruto moved in front of Hana and sent Akira a glare. "What do you want?" Naruto asked with a bit of venom in his voice. Akira approached him and Naruto was prepared for anything. He just hoped that Akira wouldn't be stupid enough to try and attack him in public. "Calm down brat. I'll kick your ass when this week is over. Enjoy your time with Sume and Hana. It's the last time you'll ever be with them again," Akira said walking past Naruto, bumping the blonde's shoulder a bit. Hana narrowed her eyes and watched Akira go off into the distance. "I'm sorry Naruto-kun," Hana apologized. Naruto chuckled and rubbed the back of his head. "It's alright Hana-chan," Naruto said to her. Hana gave a small smile and the two walked off, but as they walked off, Naruto narrowed his eyes while looking at the moon. "Just you wait Akira, I'll give you the new meaning to the word, play dead," Naruto said in thought. The week that Naruto would fight Akira was underway and the blonde would win, count on it. 1 week later. 1 week had passed since Naruto's date with Hana. The blonde had stepped up his training for that week and he didn't let it up either. Naruto had asked Kushina to help him with his training, to which his mother was more than happy to oblige. Naruto really got the stuffing pounded into him by Kushina, but he didn't use his swords. He was told it would strictly be him and Kasumi against Akira and his companion. It took a bit of convincing for people that Kasumi was Naruto's original companion, but they all agreed when Kuromaru had smelled that she was his daughter. So Naruto and Kasumi were working on their teamwork. Meanwhile, Kyubi trained Kasumi in some of the more advanced styles of taijutsu, but Kasumi decided to use the Inuzuka-style taijutsu that she remembered since it would be her and Naruto together. Naruto also wasn't breaking his promises. He still remembered his training with Kurenai and Anko. It still made him laugh when they tried to catch him for all the awkward moments that they had with their blindfolds, but the results were start to show. Kurenai was moving a lot faster thanks to Naruto's training regime and Anko was gaining more power in her attacks. The two sensory capabilities were improving also. Anko could make it to the Chunin exam stadium to her house and then to the Hokage mansion without any trouble. Kurenai could now make it from her house to the Hokage mansion to the training grounds with little difficulty. Not to mention that they got better at fighting. Their skills were still hindered because of Naruto's restrictions and their blindfolds, but they were doing much better. Just like Naruto had said though, their blindfolds had changed from black to dark blue and the two realized they did improve. Granted, that didn't stop Anko from chasing Naruto, telling him how embarrassing it was to be wearing a blindfold all day. In the week, many things happened. Haku had told Naruto that she would be having her training with Naruto. The blonde was more than happy for her too. Fu had finished her Fuinjutsu book and Naruto then had her practicing on making simple seals to start and then he would have her read an advanced book. Fu seemed to go real well with Fuinjutsu. Why Naruto didn't know, but he wasn't about to complain. He also got closer to the Nanabe Jinchuriki as she told him about her life and his told her about his. Fu seemed comforted by the fact that Naruto had been through what she had and came to respect the blonde a lot more. Naruto was currently walking with Haku, Fu, Kyubi, Kasumi and Kushina towards the Inuzuka compound. They could all hear people muttering about the fight he would have with Akira and it almost pissed the blonde off. He still couldn't believe that things happened like this, but he wasn't about to complain or back down. He'd show Akira what happened to people when they tried to muscle in on what Naruto had earned. He wouldn't let some selfish bastard take what was his. It didn't take long for the blonde and his clan members to make it to the Inuzuka compound. Naruto opened the slid-in door and quickly walked into the yard. They saw nearly everyone there. It was Kiba, Hana and Sume like he thought, but he also saw Kakashi, Genma, Tsunade, Shizune, Anko and Kurenai. He even saw most of the Konoha 13 there. This was a clan affair, so why were they there? Hey Naruto, Kiba-kun told us about your fight and he allowed us to attend, Tenten said leaning on Kiba's shoulder. Kiba gave a sheepish chuckle when Naruto glared playfully at him. Alright Naruto-san. Let your youth explode as you fight your unyouthful opponent. Lee yelled, making the blonde sweet drop. He even saw Ino and Sakura arguing over Sasuke. Said Imo looked at Naruto and the two had a staring match. HMPH, try not to lose too badly, idiot, Sasuke said to him. Naruto glared at him and sighed. I'm not you team, Naruto said to him, making Sasuke seethe. Kushina, Kyubi and Fu took their places among the crowd of people who were gonna watch. Haku stood with the other genin and Naruto made his way through the people and came to what looked like until he and Kasumi came up to a large area of the field. It had multiple claw marks and slashes. It really showed the history of how many Inuzuka had fought there. And in the middle of that area was none other than Akira along with his companion. It looked about half the size of Kuromaru. Its fur was black with a red stripe pattern. Kasumi-chan, just to ask, but do you know him? Naruto asked, pointing at the dog. Kasumi sighed with a nod. Yeah, he's Katomaru. When we were pups he always tried to follow me around everywhere. It was creepy to me, but he was so pushy at times. He's one of the main reasons why I came to hate being close to anyone, Kasumi replied and Naruto nodded. Akira patted Katomaru's head and then turned to Naruto. Well, at least you're not a chicken like I thought you were, Akira said to the blonde. Naruto rolled his eyes and then Tsunade stood in between them. Alright, this fight is for control of the Inuzuka compound. No matter who wins, there will be no complaints after this is over. Understood? Tsunade asked. Akira and Katomaru nodded. She then turned to Naruto and Kasumi who nodded also. Tsunade looked at both of them again and sighed. Fight! She yelled and quickly backed up. Akira and Katomaru grinned and they immediately charged at Naruto and Kasumi. Alright brat, now is the time that you disappeared from Tsume's life forever. Akira yelled out. Naruto and Kasumi nodded to each other and ran at Akira. The blonde threw a kunai at Akira only for it to be blocked by one of Akira's own kunai. Kasumi dropped to all four and quickly got into a fight with Katomaru as the two companions of their respective masters snarled at each other. Everyone watched the fight get started and kept their eyes glued to the match-up. Naruto let out a punch only for it to be blocked by Akira, but the blonde wasn't done as he was able to maneuver his body and placed his hand on the ground. Using his arm's strength, Naruto managed to kick Akira under the chin, sending the man in the sky. While Akira was in the sky, Naruto quickly went through some hand signs and gripped his right hand. Lightning cackled in his hand and everyone widened their eyes at Naruto's power. Alright, I've just thought of something interesting, Naruto said as he ran at Akira. Said Inuzuka member was able to backflip in the air and saw Naruto running at him. Please kid, that little jutsu won't stop me, Akira said and with a twist of his body, began to spin violently towards Naruto. Suga, Akira yelled, spiraling at Naruto. Everyone watching widened their eyes and wondered what Naruto was going to do, but luckily the blonde was able to smile. Naruto jumped into the air and even with the Chidori in his hat, he managed to spin in the air also as he decided to unleash his variation of the Inuzuka technique. Raitsuga, lightning-piercing fang, Naruto yelled and everyone was shocked when the lightning from Naruto's Chidori began to spread throughout the technique, turning the Inuzuka technique into one completely Raiten chakra charged. Tsume, Hana, and Kiba gasped as Akira and Naruto collided in a clash. Kasumi and Katomaru looked at the two collide, but Katomaru didn't stare long and used Kasumi's moment of distraction and disappeared in a puff of smoke. Kasumi turned back to the dog, but Katomaru's place was a guy around Kasumi's age and height. He had black hair with slight red stripes and Kasumi narrowed her eyes. So Katomaru, that's your form when you use the beast clone jutsu? Kasumi asked. Katomaru gave a feral grin and ran at Kasumi. Kasumi in turn ran at Katomaru also. The two gripped each other's hands and started struggling against each other. Still the same old arrogant Mute Katomaru? Kasumi asked with a small grin. Katomaru narrowed his eyes at her. Please, it's not like you've changed either. You actually disgraced your own kind for being with a human. Oh yeah, the others don't mind, but I find you sick. Your love for that blonde idiot over there is disgusting, Katomaru replied and used one of his legs to strike Kasumi in her stomach. Kasumi gasped and fell to the floor in pain as she grabbed her stomach. She then growled at Katomaru like she was about to maul him for badmouthing Naruto. What's that look for? Katomaru said and Kasumi's hair grew wilder. Her claws scratched at the ground and she stood to her feet. She really hated that only she, Kyubi and Naruto could understand what Kotomaru was saying. She really wanted everyone to hear those words, but she heard the growls of dogs at Kotomaru and she grinned before giving a chuckle which confused Kotomaru. That's right, Kotomaru. It might be sick, my unnatural love for Naruto-sama, but there is something that will never change. Naruto-sama loves me. He cares about me. You wouldn't understand, Kasumi yelled out, and using her speed, she slammed Kotomaru in the jaw, shocking the beast as he was sent flying into a tree. Kasumi grinned and turned to see Naruto and Akira still fighting. Thank you, Naruto-sama, Kasumi said with a smile. Meanwhile, Naruto and Akira were in a heated combat. It was Naruto's advantage that he and Kasumi were good at taijutsu. Having learned from the Inuzuka, Naruto knew that their taijutsu comes from their partners and collaboration, so he and Kasumi used their own teamwork to destroy it, but he had to admit that Akira was good. Naruto was managing since he was using the Sharingan to follow Akira's movements, but even then they seemed kind of blurry at times. Come on, brat. Sume's tougher than this, Akira said, and Naruto was still on defense. The blonde cursed slightly and turned one glare to Shei Kasumi and Kotomaru, still going through some fast movements. Naruto raised an eyebrow and grinned. The blonde was able to maneuver his foot and sidestep Akira and backflipped away from the Chunin. Oh, don't worry. I'm just getting started, Naruto said to Akira. The blonde closed his eyes and they returned back to their ocean blue color. Akira saw the perfect chance when Naruto went through some more hand signs and charged at the blonde. I'll wipe that damn smirk off your face, brat, Akira yelled. Naruto finished and slammed the ground. Hyoten, Hyoheiki, ice release, ice wall, Naruto yelled, and then a massive ice wall came from the ground and stood between him and Akira. Akira slashed at the wall, but it didn't make one scratch mark, and the Inuzuka gritted his teeth. I didn't know Sume's mate was a coward. Why don't you fight me, Uzumaki? Akira yelled out. Naruto narrowed his eyes and softly pressed his hand to the ice wall. Why don't you go back to the Ice Age? Naruto asked and slammed his hand on the ice wall. The wall threw out 3 large ice spikes and Akira had to dodge them all. They were then on their way to Kasumi and Kotomaru. Both dodged the attacks and Kasumi backflipped away from her opponent. When Akira landed on the ground, he realized that without his noticing the ice trapped on of his legs, restricting his movement. What the hell? Akira said and heard Naruto yell. In the blonde's hand was a blue sphere that made everyone gasp. Naruto slammed the Rasengan into Akira and with a loud noise sent the man spiraling into the trees. Kotomaru widened his eyes and ran after his master while Naruto grinned. Looks like that distraction worked, Naruto said, and he then heard some people clap. Naruto-kun is amazing. Look at his youth explode. Lee yelled, making the others sweet drop. Uzumaki-san is really impressive, but this fight isn't over. You could tell that both of them aren't trying yet, Neji responded. Hinata activated her Byakugan and looked at Naruto's chakra points. He's not exhausted and he seems fine internally, but Neji-kun is right. And Naruto-kun's fight isn't over, Hinata responded. Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, Akira is more than tough enough to handle that. Actually, he's Jonin level material, but he says that being a Chunin just means less work for him, so we know how tough he is. Naruto's got his hands full, Kiba said, making everyone sweat. Sume was unsettled and so was Hana, both just wanted this fight to be over. Naruto and Kasumi waited for them to appear, but then they felt an evil chakra. It was familiar, Naruto could recognize it if only he remembered. It was vile and had a choking feeling. Akira and Kotomaru appeared out of the woods and the sight startled everyone. Akira's face and arms were covered in black markings while his grin deepened. It was then that it hit Naruto. Sasuke and Anko widened their eyes and immediately traced their fingers over their curse marks. Kid, you just made me start to have my fun. I'm gonna rip out your heart and feed it back to you, Akira said, making his chakra surge. Naruto cursed and clutched his knuckles. Are you an idiot? That power will kill you. What's Sume-chan going to do if you act like this with the clan? Naruto yelled out and Akira laughed. It won't matter what Sume wants. I'll be the head of the clan and you'll be gone. Never to appear in the Inuzuka clan's life again, Akira cackled and Naruto balled his fists. Everyone turned to Naruto and were amazed when they saw the sand and dirt of the ground swirl around him. Kasumi backed up slightly while the sand hovered above Naruto's head. That's Gaara-san's sand attack, Lee said, but Neji raised an eyebrow. No, it's different. Look, is that steam? Neji asked. Everyone looked at the same and saw steam was really coming out of it. The sand lost some of its brownish color and immediately became more crimson color like the autumn leaves of fall. I'll make you pay Akira, right now. I'll be damned if you lead the clan. I'll make you regret going up against me and Kasumi-chan, Naruto said as the steamed sand swirled around him in a violent motion. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.